It is I, WJ, Warrior Jr., here for another morning or whenever episode. Education, knowledge, and bullshit, like whatever it takes to keep it going, the non generic thinking model that I try, hasn't led me very far in this life. Yeah, I'm being my own naysayer, I'm being my own naysayer. Size you up very, very easily. And they go, well, hey, dude, you're almost 50 years old. You got nothing. You're a failure. That it's either you're Channing Tatum, you're famous and rich, or you're a broke schmonsessen. Like I mean, that's Yiddish. That word doesn't really apply, but or whatever. You're nothing. You're goonish. And let me tell you, that's bullshit. There have been countless number of people grinding away, for literally for years. And people think, man, that guy's a loser. He's a nothing. He's a putzer, a kazal, whatever. You don't know if that guy's really, really putting his nose to the grindstone in order to achieve something, to better their life, to make an impact on the world, to achieve their dream. Now, I mean, here, like, there are a lot of homeless people out there that I see that look like they're just loafing around. They're just sitting around, just kind of looking for something. What I mean looking is like they're looking for people. And this is very interesting. I thought about this when I was carrying my groceries home last night. The people that are needy and desperate, not just homeless people, they're asking you for your help, attention, for whatever. Hey man, you got to smoke, man. You're asking me for something. Hey man, can you give me a? Hey, you're asking me for something, or looking to try to talk to you. Anything to get something off of you. Now, needy and desperation, depending on whatever it is, it's like it's conveying your lower social status. We have this. This tells you where you need to go. Like, what time is it? What do you? So I hate it when the thing is, I'm really good. My someone's going to try to one up me mentally. It's not going to happen, especially somebody of lower social status, because I'm from the streets. Like I grew up without a car, walking around everywhere. So I'm not from the ghetto or anything like that, but I've been around. So you know um, educated as far as what people's intentions are, what they want. So I have a friend. He's just kind of an aloof goylem. Anybody asks him anything, he'll try to help, but can be easily taken advantage of. People kind of use that as an opener to try to size you up really quick to try to get something off of you. Not necessarily rob you, but to try to one up you, to try to get something off of you. Hey man, do you know which way it is to like Sunset Boulevard? Yeah, it's a couple blocks that way. Hey, you think you can help me out with a couple bucks? And the really intention is getting that whatever they want, not the directions. The time is irrelevant. Whatever they ask, he needs something. He needs something, and they try to maybe station a little further to ask you for the money to show them that their intention. But the thing, or whatever it is that they want, whatever it is, it's just my point of like people something for nothing, and that's where this kind of this lies into the whole topic that I'm going to be talking about. Now, again, I'm kind of victim of this too, because when I was younger, I didn't have direction either, because I didn't know, like, I thought you need people to help you to get somewhere in life. There's partial truth to that, but it's not the way that most people think. Like, I know the system is, go to school, if your parents have a family business, whatever it is, that's what you're going to be incorporated in, and so you can make a living that way, or go to school, choose a career, and do that. And this is like just brainwashing. I mean, and a dollar bill. I don't have to pull one out for you, but on the back there's a pyramid. The money, we don't have the barter system anymore. So, the money is the way things go. It pays for air is free, breathing, but you need food to sustain your life. And, the thing is that costs money. And most people, they put gas in the car, go to a thing and survive, pay the rent or mortgage, and this is like a linear robotic way of thinking. Now, if you're doing something you love, then life on your terms. This is great, but I look at this as just like, I've talked about what I see. Mailmen or whatever look like broken down people. Like, they look like they're living zombies. The people in the post office, older people. Like, why are they there? Why aren't they retired? You should have made enough money over your life that you could give somebody else a chance now at the hiring. But you see, no, it's never going to be enough. It's never. Older people need more money because, like, uh, things they can't afford to retire. Not enough money for whatever reason, the family, the health, whatever. They have nothing to do. They figure, well, if I retire, then I just get this, and then I don't know what to do with myself, kind of thing. You ever go into a post office and it's like there's two people working in there. I see they're all in the back doing sorting packages, but I mean at the tellers at the front, there's like eight things that there's nobody there working. I mean, it's just it's like the government can't afford to hire. That I said that one time. A woman kind of gave me a weird look working there, and I was like, I said, like, the government can't afford to hire. It's like, and you know what? If the government can't afford to hire, we got a serious, serious, serious problem. Like, it's just so backwards. Like the military and everything. I already talked about. I wanted to go in the Air Force when I was younger and everything, and the whole, this whole thing of not doing. I mean, I don't care, but you know, you ever see the uniforms? You ever see where they wear these trench coats and the cap that looks so Nazi Germany like to you? I'm not. I'm just saying, isn't it just amazing? I know that the new Indiana Jones movie will be out next year, and they're going to kind of cover a little bit of this, how the Nazi thing. They say the Nazi thing infiltrated like the CIA here. It's possible. Maybe we conform to some type of, again, I'm not going to, my grandparents were survivors. I'm proud to be Jewish. I mean, don't even, like, we're not going to even go to some ridiculous thing of, but the Nazi thing was they said there was some type of efficiency that was there. Um, I remember a Star Trek, the Star Trek, the original series, Generation. They said there was some type of efficiency within, that the way that the Nazi thing, um, their army or whatever, their Axis powers, the way they operated, and maybe somehow, like, we learn how to integrate some of that, like in our own thing, which I think is, I I don't know I don't know what to say. I just, it's all conjecture, it's all opinions, views, that things that I observe, that I think. Uh, you know, I have a friend, he's like 60 years old, loves to hustle around, hand out flyers, do side. He's 60 years old, running around like a maniac. And, he's like me, he gambled away all his money, but he did it differently than I did. What's the difference, right? And he loves to go to these like all you can eat places now. And he tells me, Warrior Junior, you should go to. And I go, no, no, I gotta understand something. As you get older, your body in good shape or older, and the inability to process junk and stuff, you're making it you're going to make it harder on yourself. You want to be, like the lean, mean fighting machine. Like that's it. Like as you get older, look, when I was younger, I want to be big. Everybody want to be big, like they tell you as a little kid, you get big and strong, big and strong. Yeah, well, you know what? Big and strong is great for caveman days. Like because there was no laws or anything. Yeah, the biggest boulder, you pick up the biggest rock and smash your opponent over the head. But no, we have laws now. Like you think, oh, walking on the streets, you got to be big and strong. Like, who's good? Let me ask you something. Let's take somebody that's big and strong. Let's talk area like South Central LA or whatever. I mean, which is actually not that tough. It is like you think. Believe me, most of the people they own homes are worth like 400 grand now, maybe more. The real estate prices in still Los Angeles. You have to understand that. So I don't care what you Brooklyn or what's it called, the Bed-Stuy. So let's take a guy that's big and strong, right? He's big and strong. And then let's take somebody like a fucking Manny Pacquiao or something, or a whoever, like any of these guys. Let's take a super welterweight. Doesn't have to be like Conor McGregor or whatever. Who's gonna win in a fight? Who's gonna win? That Conor McGregor is going to kill this big and strong guy because I don't care, big and strong. Like what are you powerlifting? And he's so fast that it doesn't matter. 145 pounds. If he hits you with 140 in your face with 145 pounds behind it, like of what it is behind it, you don't understand. It's like getting hit by a 145-pound bullet. Okay, you're not going to be able to respond. You're not going to be able to respond. Okay, so this misnomer of the big and strong, it's like these guys, the security guys, that wear suits, they're big and strong, big, whatever, standing there. Somebody you get within that guy's zone, he within the span of lightning, the span of the 1/100th of a second, he's gonna clock. He's not gonna even have to wind up. It's like somebody big has to, like, it takes some time, to grab, to do everything. You're not going to be able to hit this guy. You're not going to be able to catch this guy. He's going to kill you. Okay, he's going to kill, like Bruce Lee. It doesn't matter. 135 pounds. It's not. There's so much power in that. In the structure of the guy's core is like iron. You don't understand what you're talking about here. It's a wrecking machine, is what it is. I understand something. It's not that guy was he's a heavyweight, yeah, but it's that he was fast. Okay, it's fast and speed. Look at how fast he could get to his target. And what people don't understand is in boxing, speed equates to power. It's physics, dynamics. Look it up. Look it up. I used to think, how do you get strong in boxing? It's speed. You don't understand. Somebody that's speed, they'll kill you. Remember, like at Mickey goes to Rocky, speed, 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 speed. He knew speed equates to power. All this kind of shit. It's common science, common, knowledge. So I used to go in there in the boxing thing and try to hit that bag as hard as I can. And I thought about it and I go, no, that's not that's okay. The key is speed. The key is speed. Power will come from the speed. I do these short kind of jabs. Boom. You hit somebody with that a couple times, even a bag, whatever, they're going to be like, like that little shock. Then you can clock them, then you can, there's an opening, you got to use your boxing. You really got to, you got to use your brain, and they say it's like chess. There are some, very, you could, it's not like, you lose a piece in chess, you lose the game. In boxing, you could get really fucking, somebody clocks you with your guard down, you could be permanently damaged. Like a good boxer though, knows how to, knows when something's over, but it's, I think of boxing, I think a little differently. Like the guy that runs my boxing gym, he's got so many people in the class. So say students or third, he doesn't have time one on one to work with them, individually. They're all kind of doing CrossFit-ish type of running. They're going to hit a bag, and then doing these kind of drills and stuff. But they don't work on what I consider the most important part of boxing, which is not getting hit. And that's something that you know I work on more than anything. Look at Floyd Mayweather Jr. Guys like had, how are you going to beat somebody that you can't hit? How are you going to beat somebody that doesn't get tired? Talking about something that's like two-thirds right there, and he has very sufficient enough offensive ability where if he catches you with your guard down, you're going to be in deep shit. Okay, so, but again, you can't beat somebody that you can't hit. How are you going to beat somebody that doesn't get tired? Okay, so like, because there's so much power that was there for his size. That's all he had to do is work his way in and bulldoze you. That's all he has to do. He's such a mechanic at it. He knew how to get to the points, the pivots, and everything, and block up, and built built the best version of himself for his time. Unfortunately, the jail thing was the beginning of the end. Over at that point, 6 years in prison. You know, in your prime, you're not coming back. I mean, he was very, very, very lucky. Fights after jail. The Holyfield fights, Lennox Lewis and whatever, pocket all that money. Yeah, the legacy is destroyed, but he still. It's funny, like he still to this day, he still gets a lot of gets a lot of work as far as his popularity and everything from what he did. Um, but it's like I think about myself, and I said, okay, well, my vision is to follow the mold of Stallone. He wrote Rocky, and I've got a vision for a boxing movie. But it's nothing like Rocky. The only similarities between my vision and what Rocky is that it's a guy that you would least expect, in a big fight, and it's nothing, and it's based on different parameters. And there's no Adrian love story. There's no Mickey. There's not Paulie, and there's nothing. And it's a very cute about a guy that's 50 years old that gets a shot to take on, basic fired super welterweight champion like a Floyd Mayweather Jr. Because he's got nothing else to do. He's 50-0, so it's. And I think I've talked about the synopsis of the script, the idea. And the difficult part that I have is really going to be writing a whole story like this, nobody being interested in it. It would bother me a lot. Writing the treatment's nothing, I mean that's 1 page, whatever. But the slogan that I wrote, yeah, if you do what's hard in life, your life will be easy. If you do what's easy in life, your life's going to be hard. And that's of course a generalization. I can name them, what about people that paid nothing and it's really hard? Well, they're being taken advantage of. Okay, and they actually choose to do that kind of work. Um, I give so much respect to law enforcement, police, fire, whatever. But again, nobody's putting a gun at your head to do the job. If you choose to do this, and if you do 20 years or 30 years, you get full retirement, 90 some percent salary for the rest of your life. but look what you're giving up. You're sacrificing majority of your life doing work that most people, it's like sanitation work. You're doing a job that most people don't want to do. And by the way, I've done the community service. I've done that kind of shit, garbage can routes. I did it for 6 months. I had to do 100 just about. You know, when you're young, you don't know what you're doing. It's very easy. Okay. So yeah, like I want to talk. Yeah, I've seen this. Like, there's this homeless woman. I've seen her around for a couple of years. That's all she does. She does recycling. Every day. And think about this. Like, even if she spends no money, like on food or anything, she's homeless, no rent, nothing. Let's say she makes like 20 bucks a day, every fucking day, every day. So for a year, that comes out to like what, $8,000? 20 times 100 is 2,000. 6,000. Another 65 days, another 1,200. So let's 70, 200, 8,000, whatever. Saves up all that money just in 1 year. He does it, let's say, for 3 years, like 21,000. She's doing something. I heard about this homeless person. I think they they had half a little bit of cycle, brains. You know what I mean? Like, and somehow got a driver's license, bought like a cheap truck, and started running around doing this recycling. And kind of started a small business that way. Good for them. You know what I mean? I had a kind of an idea for a recycling business. To get us started. Um, you know what though? It's got to be more to life than just focusing on the dollar. Okay. My friend that does the flyers and he cleans pot, he drives all the way to Burbank to do work in a restaurant. And I mean, a couple hours. It's like money controls him. Like on the back of the dollar bill. And he's a slave to. He doesn't never had it. And I told him, I said, Chris, this went in one ear, went out the other. You're living in a 21st century. Most people, they make their money electronically. People that are smart. You don't have a computer, and don't know how to work online. I mean, you're seeing people spend money physically, whatever, but the money is made electronically. A lot of people that make money, for the most part. And this guy just does not grasp that concept. Somebody like him, 60 years old, sitting there in the old school thinking in the 21st century. And that mindset is like, they say, like the matrix, kind of like the prison in your mind, keeping you down. The guy never gonna, in his mind, like every once in a while to get like a little taste of what people that have you, like, go, like you said, all you can eat restaurants, or went to Vegas, and you stay for New York for a couple days and vacation. I mean, to me, that's like nothing. It's nothing. I mean, I've flown to $50 round trip, a couple 3 nights at the Excalibur, whatever, and I thought, oh, this is like really, I'm really doing it up. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's like such a pittance of treating yourself compared to what's out there. Again, it's like going to the ocean and taking a thimble with you, like a shot glass, compared to somebody that's got a fucking. There's so much out there. Like, if you're willing to educate yourself, or think, dream big, instead of depending on other people. See, this comes full circle to what I started. People that are these people that are needy and desperate. They're walking around hoping that somebody gives them something. I was going to the park I'll tell you the part in a second. But again, I talked about my friend that he's doing this little schlep rock work at a restaurant or driving all the way to Burbank from West Hollywood, for 3, 4 hours of work for $20 an hour. He's doing the same thing, like the lower social status people asking, needy and desperate. He would call me up and he would say, WJ, like, what do I do? What do I do? You're doing the same thing. You're asking somebody. You don't know how to think. Earl Nightingale said he had a great review. I listened to him. He said, if you don't know how to think, like, walk. He goes, walk. What do you mean walk? Walk where? Because when you're walking, everything's working. Your body's working, your mind. You get time to think. And think. Arnold said to sit down, take time, turn off everything, get away. And this guy, what he does, my friend Chris, will go and just sit there and have coffee, and then he'll call me and he goes, I'm going stir crazy. I got nothing. I don't know what to do, because he doesn't know how to think. And it doesn't matter like what you did in your life, whatever. You can use that as a bedrock frame for something to try to figure out, okay, how can I build on anything that I know how to do? For me, it was a collectible business. In that, when I was a little kid, buying and selling memorabilia, baseball cards, comics, whatever. And when I get back on eBay very shortly, that's going to be, I'm going to get back to doing that. Like that's, whatever it takes. If it's even moving forward, the smallest of margins, because they're trying to make like these astronomical leaps, like what I did, and I was doing it through gambling, crushed my credit. When I tried the stock market, futures, fucked me up. Cryptocurrency fucked me up. Well, I thought I could get that condo. I thought I could accrue 100,000 fairly quickly. When was it? Was it Douglas Coughlin and Cocktail? I wanted it fast. I blew the fucking lot. You don't want to be old with nothing. You don't want to be young with nothing either. So, it's just my friend could actually learn how to think, because I don't know. I know him for like, 15 years or something. I don't know what he did with his life. I don't know how. I chased all these dreams. Like he's one guy that he just, he said, well, I tried to do air for refrigeration, air conditioning. I went a year and a half to an adult school. I didn't get my GED. So unfortunately, you're not dealing with somebody that has the mind, the be able to do too much. Now he does understand how to multiply, how to add. So we was talking about auto detail. You're gonna have young Hispanics. They basically got a lock on all that kind of shit. And they're a lot younger, and they're a lot smarter, and they hustle a lot harder. And so when you're up against that, you're gonna get walking around all day doing that is probably pretty hard, but it's not considered hard. What I do at hand out flyers. I mean, that's not like doing fucking rocket science or whatever. Now I don't do rocket science and stuff, but let me tell you what's fucking hard. Like I applied to these schools, then I have to decide, all this paperwork they have to get in. Then I got to figure out, okay, which is the best offer, financial aid, then take the classes, get the books, do everything, drop out of the other. It's a little harder than handing out flyers, but it's actually kind of easy because I can go on the computer 24/7. I can get up at 3 in the morning if I feel like it, type up homework. I don't have to show up to some guy's place to pick up flyers. So the saying is very accurate. About doing what's hard, your life will be easy. I can go to boxing gym at 6:30 in the morning if I want. I'm probably going to go do. Now, what happened was I went to the park a couple of days ago. I don't know if whatever it was a hideous he-she, like a stick, whatever, on a bike, went by me. I had a bad feeling about this too, and then it stopped, came back around. I knew it was coming back to me, and it's like when I turned the corner, went up toward the park, positioned itself on its bike, so like I couldn't. I had to walk around it, and it gave me a look. So I gave it like weird. I'm trying to remember the face I gave, like this. Let me see if I can do it. Like it weird looked at me, so I didn't stop. I gave it like I didn't say a word, but if it would have said anything to me, I would have said, "Look, if you don't leave me alone, you're going to be getting a first. Don't this trying to give you something. See, that's the thing. People, what they need." And then, ironically, I was standing at a light at night. I was going on my way to the market, and there was a very attractive woman just on the other side of the pole. Like she was 5 feet from me, and she wouldn't even look at me. Like she was very attractive. And I'm sorry, this is a very linear robotic society we live in. Most things that are good looking are good looking. Everybody pretty much knows the consensus. Some guys might like guys with women with a little bigger ass, a little whatever, but there's a general consensus of what's considered attractive and what's considered not, and it's just ironic that, what's trying to give you is mostly things that you don't need. Attention from things that you don't care about, you don't want, it doesn't matter. And when I go in that boxing gym, there are some attractive women that are in there, and I don't care because it's a physical version of myself. Now, again, I already showed you, like I do this all the time, and I do it for myself. I don't do it for, to boast or anything. But the point is, I built this not by, going out needy, asking for women, hoping that the women are going to give me something. Okay. They didn't do thousands upon thousands of push-ups. They didn't do thousands upon thousands of crunches and punching and lifting weights and jogging and cardio and watching the diet and doing everything. Now, I started a long time ago bodybuilding and whatever, which I'm not doing. I don't care about that. But make the connection that it's not that, it's not everything. It's one component of everything. It's one important component. The Greeks said when you strengthen your body, you strengthen your mind. All right? And look, we all have this. Money is extremely vital to everything, but people put too much stock in it. Too much stock in it, their jobs and whatever. Well, if I do this for all these years, yeah, it's sacrifice. If that's, if you don't want to sit down and try to get creative. I mean, look at Walt Disney, how creative that guy was. Look what he did. Look what he built in his life. You don't have to be Walt Disney, but I'm just saying, like most people just are. Saying Yiddish, it's a crying shame. Like I don't know how to think, or he chooses not to. Stallone, I remember he told me, he didn't tell me, he said this before. He goes, I remember, like, he goes, after the Port Authority is sleeping homeless apartment or something, and some guy offered him a job like digging ditches or whatever, And he just knew if he took this job, whatever dreams he had of being an actor, it was over. Like it was over. Being a writer, actor, it would be over. And he's 25. Like I said, I could have went in the Air Force. I followed my heart instead. I wanted to dance on television. That was my dream at the time, and I got to do that. I still had the professional baseball dream in my mind. I want to get a contract for one day as a pro ball player. I mean, you got to understand, my whole life, that's what I wanted. Now, those things come to an end, and there's always something else I try to strive for. But, you know, you got to understand, like, that was the majority of my life. That was the most important thing. You know, I was going to be a pro card player. That doesn't matter. That life is behind me so far. I think people, they just obsess too much with the money thing. It's like, you know, the collectible business. I have a couple cards. I got them. I got them at the right price before the card market really took off, and I'm still holding two cards. You know, could possibly get my condo that I want off in full, but in possibly just two cards. I got a lot more than that. I consider myself broke, but I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna grind really, really hard over the next couple of years. By the time my 50th birthday comes around, by the end of next year, I'm not gonna owe fucking credit for money. And that's how people fucking make it. Leverage, leverage, leverage. You know, I know people can make millions. I know. That's not my goal. I don't need millions. Okay? Because I don't believe I'm not going to have kids, a family. I don't care. But I want out of the poorhouse. And that's, for me, that's an incredible accomplishment to get to that point. Friend Harry, that he had, you know, lived in, had a couple houses. Well, not all at once, but he had a house in the valley, nice big house. And back before like the market really took off, I could make 100,000 if I sold the house, you know, like on top of what he paid. And he went ahead and took the profit, and then the housing market exploded. The house would be worth millions. I think he bought it for like 600,000 or something. It'd be worth like 3 million now. So you know, nobody, you just don't know. You know, you don't have a crystal ball to figure things out, but but he again, also compulsive gambler. You know, he got destroyed also. Compare his situation to mine. You know, the stress is, it's about creating again the best version of yourself. Most people look at you physically, you know, wow, you're in great shape. I don't care as much as ever. I said you could be in great shape. You're broke and uneducated, never done nothing. Like, I mean, then so what good is it? I'd rather be in okay, so like I don't have to be a fucking, you know, cut to shreds, you know, fucking bodybuilder, whatever, you know, be dead broke. You know, that's for me being a doctor, you know, like all the things, just, you know, that it's very difficult to do everything. I know. I was saying, well, let me do martial arts and fighting, and let me try to write the script, and then let me try to get an agent. Let me try. Hey, you know what? I'll try to do as much as I can, best that I can, you know, with what I got. And, you know, remember, it's your life. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing that I say in this episode. That it really is. Most people don't realize that. It's your life. But most people, they have to get up for work. They have to get up and do something they don't want to do. Is that really your life, or are you living it for somebody else? My friend, a friend that would he was doing, I don't know, cutting onions before he worked in the valley, or now for some place. The guy let him go. You don't need you. You got to understand something. I went to this wrestling school about a year ago. And I remember the guy told me that. He just said it nicely. We don't need you. Just like once I got that, I said, you know what? Have a nice day. I don't need you guys. And not everybody fits into what is necessary, and that's fine. Look, I was very passionate about a lot of things. Some people were very nice to me. I met John Cena, I met all these people. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you're successful, they will come to you. And you know what? Only I'm gonna will keep continuing to grind myself and create like the best boxer version of myself. I know, if I can get a hold of somebody like Mayweather, for some of his agent or whatever, and tell him about my idea for a script. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work out. It's fine. I'll find somebody else that'd be interested in listening to it. But I remember this homeless guy in his shopping cart. He had this script, dirty, whatever. Like somebody would read it. That's not the way, man. The way it goes. I remember my writing mentor. He had a fucking nice house around the block from me, nice pool in the back, right? But you see, you put on a class one day a week. I can do it. Work with Jack Nicholson, wrote these scripts and everything, and you know, a successful man. It's a mensch. That's something, not somebody pushing around a shopping cart with a pipe dream. And that's what I want. Like, I want to say, hey, man, you know, I went after all of this, but on a scale, like, the collectibles, some things that I have. But I think there's better. I mean, I can do better. Way, 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 way better. I remember with the span of 2 years, I had like 80 graded comic books. Good stuff in there. And there's money that people want it, they'll pay. But I don't like problems comic books, the cases crack and everything like that. But it's not bad. Like you calculate how much. All right, I'm buying this book for $65, graded or whatever, and then you try to deal in a little more expensive stuff because that's where the money is, the profit is to be made. But you can deal in cheap stuff too. I remember on eBay, I went to a thrift shop. They had like this workout thing. It was unopened. PX90, whatever. I got it for like $3. I got $65 for it on eBay, and they paid the shipping. The people that fucking bought it got it for like $3. No, you only make $63. Yeah, took a fucking picture of it, put it up there, sent it out, whatever. Money is money. Walk to the post office, send it to them, whatever, and the money is right to you. Like I don't mind that shit. I just don't like being a schlep rock, like unless it's really something. I mean, unless it's like a teaching tenured position or something that could really go south. Otherwise, fuck it. I don't entertain this living life for somebody else. I just don't look at it like that. I just don't. But that's how I think. So anyway, it's about 6:15. I make a little something to eat, and I guess go do some boxing training. It's always fun, and I hope that you got something off this episode. I talk about opening up your mind and living life for yourself. As they say, go gas is so expensive. Well, you know what? Why do you need a car then? I need a car to get it. Why? Because society tells you need it. Why do you need it? You don't need it. I have a friend, he's the sweetest guy in the world, but he's in awful shape. Probably because he's never walked around. So now he's a big guy, big from the beginning, but sitting in a car doesn't help you. I have a couple friends like that. It just promotes perpetual laziness. I'm sorry, your body is the most important thing. And the society tells you you need a car, you need a job, you need a this, you need a that. Look, only reason I go to school is because I found kind of a loophole in there. And these degrees are nothing but personal accomplishments. I pass all the classes, I get a little money for it and whatever, and that's it. But this type of thing of you have to do this and you have to be like this and you have to go there and you have to do that. It's brainwashing from when you're a kid. It's brainwashing in school and it's brainwashing from your parents or whatever like that. Look at Mr. Beast, for example. 13 years old, starting with YouTube and everything, and he dropped out of college and he knew he could make a fucking living. He figured out a way on YouTube before his own camera, and then look, fucking successful. 21st century version of like a Walt Disney kind of in a way. You know what I mean? That's what's possible. It's possible. So look into your own creative mind. I have a friend that's an artist. He loves, but he's a chronic alcoholic and he smokes. So those things, those addictions, hold him down. He does his artwork and he doesn't know how to promote. He doesn't know how to fucking have a gal. Doesn't know how to do that. I mean, he was younger. He kind of, when he was younger, because he had more energy. But he's old. Addictions kind of they they hold you down. They find a way to hold you down. And they're bad addictions. You know, find good addictions. Find good addictions. Working out. Uh, um, um, business, investing. Like where you keep your mind going. Like study. These are good things to be addicted to. Create the best version of yourself. It's my goal. And I'm just very hard on myself because I feel like I didn't live up to my potential. My friend always talks about it. He goes, "Well, Warrior WJ got that professional baseball contract." And I said, "I know, but that was 31 at the time. That was 17 years ago. There's more to life than that." So, constantly strive to go after. Constantly strive. There's always something. I wish I could be. I really do. Like, I see a guy like Stallone, the leg with the guy fucking did. I mean, it's like, wow, I wish I could be anything, where people be like, fuck, man, what you did for this world. It's incredible. There's haters out there. People don't like whatever, but I mean, can you imagine? You go out there and people are like, man, you don't understand what that movie did for me. That last one, that Rocky Balboa, that last one. My friend Chris said, yeah, depressing, and not that you don't get it, do you? Watch that movie carefully and understand what that was. He said that's like probably one of his favorites, one of my favorites too. I actually went to the WGA, the Writers Guild, and looked at that script. It was right fucking there. It's but that Rocky Balboa, it's got his arm up like Rocky Six, whatever it's to me. Anyway, hope you got some off this one. Warrior Junior out. I make another peanut butter sandwich. Try to avoid junk food, man. Try to. I mean, I'll talk about that